if you ain't being guided by Yahweh Shai, your ways are going to be led the ways of death. Okay? Because you're blind. A blind guide is gonna lead the blind into a ditch. That's where you're gonna end up falling, man. You're not in the straight gate. You're trying to go on a whole different path. You got to go through that straight gate, like Yahweh Shai said. Go through the narrow path that leadeth into everlasting life, man. You try to come up another way, you're gonna get cast out. You're gonna be that one in Amos, that's chased out by a lion, a bear, and then you flee into a house and you put your hand on the wall and bit by a serpent. And that's it.
That's right.
We'll read that again. Proverbs 16 and 25. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. See? Because the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in the book of John, chapter 6, verse 63, it says, it is a spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. Your flesh don't profit shit, man. They ain't gonna do nothing for you in that time.
That's right.
The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. You see? Not your words, not your thoughts. Your thoughts are vain, man. They're nothing. So this is the only thing that's going to keep you afloat in that time, man. Deliver you, protect you. So yeah, guys out there that think you got everything in lock. No, man, you don't, man. Go ahead, read it.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 1. Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to law. 10 and 1, Salaki. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I will not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea.
Right, so all Israel's going to know this. Somewhere, somehow, they're going to hear this word. It's like they knew in the time in the wilderness, man. Be not ignorant, man. Right. The word ignorant goes back to the word ignore. All right? But we know a lot of people are going to ignore. They're going to pull back the shoulder, close up their ears, and walk off, mock, scoff, talk some shit, think shit. That's fine, because the scripture's written, and we already know. The scriptures say, he that hear, let him hear. He that forbear, let him forbear. And he that is filthy, let him be filthy still. So we already know that. He that is ignorant, let him be ignorant. We know that. Go ahead.
It says, verse 2, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea.
Yeah, so they all went through it. Just like now in our time, the brothers are going to drink that cup of the baptism of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Right.
I mean that we're going to suffer, we're going to go through things, man. We're putting on the mind of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Okay?
And did eat the same spiritual meat.
Yeah, they did eat the same spiritual meat. You see? And us, brother, that's what we're eating. We're eating the spiritual meat. We're dining at the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's table, man. But like I said earlier, you got to be careful on how you eat at that table. You can't be in there acting like you run shit. You're the first one to put your hand in that thing. Somebody has to be first, though. Don't get me wrong, but it's how you do it. It's your intent, where your heart's at, man. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 4, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was the Messiah.
See, it was all a foreshadow of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It represented him, Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
But with many of them, the Most High was not well pleased.
Yep, see, the Most High wasn't well pleased with many of them, man. It's like this time. He ain't pleased with a lot of you people, man. He hates a lot of you. He's angry with a lot of you. And that's what the scriptures say. He's angry with the wicked every day. He whetted his sword, man. He's whetting his sword, meaning he's sharpening his sword up in heaven, man. He's ready to bring down a heavy judgment. Stupid ass. Can't stand these motherfuckers here. They try to act badass in their fucking cars, but when they're out like this, they don't want to be talking, saying shit. Go ahead.
It says, verse 5, but with many of them the Most High was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness.
Yep, they were overthrown in the wilderness. Go ahead.
Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things.
See? Go ahead.
As they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play.
Yeah, see, they sat down and eat, but then they rose up to play, meaning they wanted to go and do their own little bullshit, man. What is that saying in the world? Have your cake and eat it too. That's what they wanted. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know? Not being on fire, not being either cold or hot. But not realizing the Most High knew your heart, man. You know, just like certain brothers, we know certain people. You don't have to say too much. You don't have to. Boom, we already got you. We already know what you're about. Shut the fuck up. That's what we want to tell you. Just shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a fucking. You're a fake. You're a fraud. You know. That's what they thought that they were being slick with the Lord, man. The whole time the Lord was like shaking his head. You know, pissed off. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000.
See, a lot of Israelites died and perished because they didn't take account how they were eating at the Lord's table, man. He brought them out of Egypt, the house of bondage, man, Mizraim. He brought them out from the house of the land of their captivity at that time, by great miracles, man. I mean, he put energy into that. He applied himself. He was a man that what does the scripture say? That he's not a man that he should lie. You know, he said what he was going to do, and he came and did that shit. And for you to turn his back on him like that, you deserve death, man. More than that. That's why you got 2/3 that are not going to make it. You're going to come back in the kingdom and still have shame upon you.
It says, Verse 9, neither let us tempt Hamashiach, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents.
Yeah, see? They were destroyed by serpents, man. Wild beasts. You know? They were tempting Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. They were testing his patience, man. You know what I'm saying? You think men have a mad wrath, man? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, they're those ones, the king of terrors, man. You keep fucking with them, they will kill you, man. And they will fuck you up in ways that you ain't ready for. They will fuck your world up, man. And they thought they were slick. That's what, you know, that's how Jake is. Jake thinks he's slick. He thinks he can get away with a lot of things. You know, he can run at the mouth, he can steal from you or take your woman from you and play it off and be like, and with no remorse. That's how they were with the Lord, man. That's why I said they sat down to eat and they rose up to play. They kept doing that. They kept doing that and doing it over and over and over again. The Lord was like, man, the Lord was like, nah, I'm tired of this shit. You know, just like going back in the time of Noah, he said that it repented him that he had created man. Because all it was full in their heart was nothing but wickedness. But there's a small remnant that they weren't getting down like that, man.
That's right.
Even though they had to suffer because of all that wickedness, but those ones, they remained faithful. They came to the right mind, the state of mind, right? They checked themselves. They suffered through it, and they're waiting to receive the kingdom now in our time, man. This is the time. This is it. You know.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now,
angels came through, destroyed them. Like I said, you had other crazy beasts. We could bring it out in Wisdom of Solomon. It goes into it. Go ahead.
Now all these things happen unto them for examples.
See, these things are examples. Everything is written for our learning. That's why the Lord said, I'm not going to leave you comfortless. Okay? Whenever you're at your lowest state, you know, it's all right. I got you. Don't worry. This is all you need right here, man. You got the brothers. You got Akim. You know, you got this spirit right here, man. It's all you need. Let me pull out this script real quick. This is in the book of Hebrews, and Hebrews chapter 4, verse 14. Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Yahushua the Son of the Most High, let us hold fast our profession. For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in the time of need. How are we able to do that? Because who was our example? Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai washed the disciples' feet. You know, he healed, he resurrected the dead. He brought them out of obscurity. You know, the Gentiles saw that light, which that's what they were at that time, man. Some of them were Gentile state of mind. They didn't know who they were. And the Lord brought them back out of that darkness, man. Okay? So now it's our time when we had to apply that. We had to be those ones that have, when somebody comes with a problem, we have to be that aid, that assistant, you know, to assist them, to aid them through that hardship. Because Yahweh Shai did the same thing, man. He did it for the brothers. And read it again. It says, let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace. And when you come boldly, you can't be coming arrogant. You can't be coming with your with trickery. You know what I'm saying? With maliciousness. You can't be coming like that. Or with feigned words or dissimulation. You have to come right, man. Sincere. That we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. See? I think there might be another one. Let's see here real quick. This is Hebrews chapter 2. Hebrews chapter 2 verse 17. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the Most High, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. For in the time he himself had suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted. And the word succor, Salak, if I'm not pronouncing it right, means to help or bring aid, man. You know, that's what he came down to. The scriptures say, Matthew chapter 1, was it 20:21, that he was came to save his people from their sins, man. That's right. You know, the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, which are you Negro Latinos and Native American Indians, right on this side, man. The Negro Latinos and Native American Indians, you are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you look like a so-called white man or whatever, a Chinese man, a Japanese, East Indian, but this truth resonates with you, more like you're an Israelite, man.
That's right.
Because it's not based off color. We're just using this as the primary example of what the people of the Most High are, man. Or who they are.
That's right.
Okay? But in order to get that aid, that help, right, you have to be content with this meal, man. This is it. People wander into all the different types of philosophies and doctrines, man, because they're not satisfied with this. You know? It's not good enough for them, man.
That's right. That's right. I have this one in 2nd Maccabees.
Go ahead.
This is 2nd Maccabees 6:12. Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities.
Yeah, don't be discouraged with the things that you hear, man. Believe, have faith. The fear of the Lord it says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, man.
That's right.
That should push you to where you, like, what do I got to do next? I don't want to die here. Go ahead.
But that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation.
Yeah, the Lord never wanted to destroy you, you Israelites, man. You call it to yourself, you know. But if you go through it and you're still breathing and you're alive, hey, consider it a blessing, man. Get right. You still have, the Lord saying, hey, you still have time to repent. Get right. Get your shit together. Or if not, you're going to be like these examples. These niggas over here that died.
It says, for it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with other nations whom the Lord patiently forbeareth, to punish, they will become the fullness of their sins. So dealeth he with us, lest that being come to the height of sin, afterwards he should take vengeance of us. And therefore he never withdraw his mercy from us, and though he punish with adversity, yet doth he never forsake his people.
Yep. So people think like, why would the Lord do that? Why would the Lord allow death? Why did he take this person from? Why did he do that? You know? Because you called it to yourself, man. That's part of there's a thing that you call consequences. Everybody knows that.
That's right.
Parents do it to their kids. The government does it to you punk as adults. I mean, us people, you know what I'm saying? You know, we go off, we don't follow their rules and regulations. We get chastised, so to speak, you know, by fines and probation, jail time, you know. Why not the Lord? Where do you even think they get that idea from? It's from the scriptures. The Levites, man. The word Levi goes back to the Hebrew word loyah, which, you know, they're the ones, the holders of the law, man. You know? If there was something that was out of sync, that wasn't followed correctly, guess what? You were judged. You know? It always pertain to death. It didn't always pertain to death. You know? The Lord, that's what he does, man. He chastises you, corrects you. It's a form of correction.
That's right.
If I didn't go through the hells the trials and tribulations that I went through, I probably wouldn't be the way I am right now. Some people, like, when they go through trials and tribulations, sometimes it makes them even worse. It makes them even more rebellious, even more hard-headed. But that's backwards. It's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to draw you away from the thing that keeps getting you in that predicament, man.
That's right.
Go ahead, Art.
And like in the movie The Matrix, which people know, they took things from the scriptures and they put it into that movie. You have the Frenchman, which said, you know, there's a consequence to everything you do. There's a cause, and then there's an effect. You know, and he went through his philosophy that he was talking about, but they brought that out from the scriptures. The cause and effect. All right, the effect is what we're living right now.
Yeah.
What was the cause? Us going from the grace of the Most High. You know.
It tells you that in the book of Sirach, chapter 8, and Sirach, or 2nd Esdras, chapter 8, going into 2nd Esdras, chapter 9. You know, because of the way the iniquity of Adam. You know, the seed of wickedness that was sowed in the heart of men. You know, that's how far it goes back. You know, and then the effect, like the brother's saying, is what we see now. You know, and when we read in the scriptures that Israel was going through persecutions, through oppression, from captivity to captivity. You know, being destroyed, being a byword. You know. Because of their rebelliousness, there's a consequence for that. The Lord is judging the people for it. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse. Let's see which one it is. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 20. For if thou didst punish the enemies of thy children, and condemn to death, and with such deliberation, giving them time and place whereby they might be delivered from their malice. See, so the Most High always gives you. The Most High always gives you a way out, man. Get that one in 2 Corinthians and verse. That's in 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13.
That's the one that I was going to.
Go ahead and read that one.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and 12. Wherefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. The Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able.
See, so the Most High is able to, is willing to deal with you. That's why he says, I'm going to plead. I'll beseech you, or I'll plead the cause of my people. So the word pleading is like he begging you, hey, I'm trying to communicate with you. I'm trying to work with you. Let's see what we can do. The Lord ain't unrighteous. He's not unfair, man. You think he's unfair because you want to hold on to your wickedness, man.
That's right.
But the Lord has always given us a way out, man, within that temptation. Right? So it says here, Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 21, with how great circumspection didst thou judge thy own sons. See, the Lord was on point when it came to judging the Israelites, man.
That's right.
You know, it wasn't unrighteous. It was nothing. It was on point. You can't bitch and complain about that.
That's right.
It says, unto whose fathers thou hast sworn and made covenants of good promises. See, it don't matter. The Lord is no respecter of persons with Yahweh Bashem Shah. The only reason why this place is still thriving is for the elect's sake. That's it. That small remnant. Else, this place would have been over with already. Esau wouldn't have been thriving. None of these heathens. But because the Most High has a set a time that you got Israel that is waiting to be sealed up, man. You know. It says, therefore, whereas thou dost chasten us, thou scourgest our enemies 1,000 times more. See? So Israel, God is chastisement, man. But those that want to go outside of that with the heathen, they're going to be chastised 1,000 times more, man. And it's going to be by way of fire, thermonuclear destruction that's coming to America, man.
That's right.
America's going to be destroyed because of its wickedness. You know? Because of them taking removing the ancient landmarks, stealing the land from the indigenous people, man.
That's right.
And it's prescribed in the Bible. Did y'all know that the Bible speaks about America?
The Bible talks about a lot of things.
Did you know that it speaks about America? And a lot of people don't even know what the word America means. You get that the word America comes from an Italian name of Amerigo Vespucci.
That's right.
And the word America goes back to the Spanish word amargo, which means bitter. This place
right.
is a bitter place, man. We ain't moving away. You're gonna be taken out of this place by way of fire.
That's right.
Martial law's coming, and they're gonna make you get the RFID chip.
That's right.
And you're gonna take it. You know? Move away. It says that. Grow up. We're out here teaching. We're talking about history. We're talking about the future. Edomites, man. It's all right. I didn't engage that conversation, you know. But that's the spirit. The spirit is showing you how this place gets down, man. This place is wicked, man. That's why us brothers are out here. The Lord has us out here because we're a sign unto you people that this place is about to go down.
That's right.
Get that in Jeremiah 28 and 8. Now the heathens are going to be chastised. What does it say? How did it say? It says that they're going to be chastised, our enemies, 1,000 times more. Be put into captivity, man. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. You know? These Edomites think they're going to get away with it, man. That old decrepit Edomite thinking she's all tough and brave, man. Most High's going to take her ass out. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 7. Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people.
Yeah, all you people hear it. Whether you want to hear it or forbear. Y'all see it. You know, y'all have understanding what this is about. You may not know in great detail, but you see it. Go ahead.
The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Yeah, and that's what the men of the Lord are doing. We're prophesying against great kingdoms, man. America,
right.
Is not America a great kingdom? You know?
That's right.
It's not America a place of rape, robbery, and murder? Bloodshed spilled on this earth? Like when Cain spilled Abel's blood? You don't think that blood is still crying out for judgment, man? Like Abel's blood is? To this day. That's why we're out here.
That's right.
We all represent that Adam, but that Adam is a living soul, which is Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai, he was Adam. And what did they do to Yahweh Shai? They put him to death. You know? Judgment's coming, man. Death and destruction is coming to this place, man. And if you don't see it, man, you're blind. And even though you can see this pathway, you can see this sidewalk, you can see these cars passing by, but you're spiritually dead, man. You're blind.
That's right.
You can't discern the times, man. You don't have the ability to interpret the time you're living in, man.
That's right.
And if you do, you accept it. You accept that this place is okay. You know? You're fine with wickedness. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 9, the prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh hath truly sent him.
Yeah, but we're not speaking in the name of peace. I mean, we are by way of the scriptures.
That's right.
But we're not promising you peace. We're not telling you peace is coming to America. We're telling you death and destruction is coming. Lamentations and woes and mournings is piled in this book, man. That's what we're speaking.
That's right.
The rawness of the Bible, not sugarcoating or speaking smooth things unto you people, man. The way you like to have it. Little females, little bunch of girls out here, man.
That's right.
Effeminate. Thinking you're badass. You ain't nothing, man. You people, man, the Most High's coming, man. The Most High's coming.
That's right.
And you can talk to him about it. You know? I'm just relaying the message. You know?
Hey, we're the ones that meeting them as men. You know? Speaking it. But when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's not even going to speak to you as a man. You know?
Yeah, he ain't going to speak. He's not going to speak. He's going to destroy you. Because that time was right now. You had to go through us. You had to speak to us. The Lord ain't going to talk to you. He's going to kill you. You cannot stand in the presence of Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Because right now, is the way he had it set up was that you're going to, faith cometh by hearing of the word, you know, of the Most High, man. That's how you're able to believe. And by that belief, you're sealed up. You're sealed by way of the Holy Spirit, which is the word, man, that we speak out of the book. Okay, let me bring this out real quick. Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 11. For it was a cursed seed from the beginning, neither didst thou, for the fear of any man, give them pardon of those things wherein they sinned. You see? So you people are bugged out thinking the Lord's going to allow you to get away. Like I brought out in Sirach, it's a marvel if a stiff-neck, you know, got away unpunished. You ain't going to get away unpunished, man. Surely, get that one in Jeremiah chapter 49 real quick. Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 12.
This is Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drinking, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished?
Yeah, those that were not to be judged or to drink of that cup have surely drunken. But are you going to go unpunished? Read that again.
This is Jeremiah 49 and 12. For thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken.
That's talking about Israel, the Negro Latinos and Native American Indians. Why? Because we called it to ourselves by being rebellious. Go ahead.
And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished?
Art thou he that shall go unpunished, meaning the Edomites, because if you read up, it's talking about Esau, man. You so-called white people, you're going to be judged, man.
That's right.
You're not going to go unpunished. That's why it said here, it says, neither didst thou for fear of any man give them pardon of those things wherein they sin. For who shall say, what hast thou done? Or who shall withstand thy judgment?
That's right.
Or who shall accuse thee for the nations that perish, whom thou hast made? Or who shall come to stand against thee to be revenged for the unrighteous men? You know? Esau ain't gonna stand up against Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai. Hey man, what are you doing? Why are you killing these people? I mean, he's gonna try to fight him, but that's about it. He's gonna just fight him just to piss off Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai even more, just to annihilate them. It says, "For neither is there any God but thou that careth for all, to whom thou mightest show that thy judgment is not unright. Neither shall king or tyrant be able to set his face against thee for any whom thou hast punished." So nobody's going to be able to stop the hand of Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai, man. You ain't going to be able to stop the judgment, the prophecies. You ain't going to be able to stop the arrows that are shot from one end of the earth to the other part of the earth. You ain't going to stop the plagues. The plagues are not slack. They're coming and falling perfectly in its time, man.
That's right.
It says, "For as much then as thou art righteous thyself, thou orderest all things righteously, thinking it not agreeable with thy power to condemn him that had not deserved to be unpunished." Okay?
Right.
So don't think that you're not going to be punished, man, because we all deserve death. But there's a small remnant that are going to be exempt from that, man. They're exempt. They're justified. And that's pertaining to Israel, the Israelites, the elect, that small remnant. Okay?
Right.
Don't think you're going to go unpunished, man. You Edomites, man. You other also you other nations, you heathens, man. You're not going to go unpunished, man. Trying to mouth off and be smart, you know? That's a damn devil right there. That's a fucking Donald Trump supporter right there, man. You know?
That's right. He made one vessel unto honor and one unto dishonor. You know? The honorable are the elect. You know? The dishonorable are the rest of the people. 2/3 the heathen. You know?
Yeah. They took part in killing they took part in destroying you Israelites. You know? Talks about that in the book of Obadiah, and you read throughout the history, man. Every nation took part in jacking you nigger Latinos and Native American Indians up.
That's right.
You know, so they're all gonna have to pay. Every single one of them.
That's right.
You know. Where you at right now?
Jeremiah.
Okay, go to 1 Corinthians 11 and 26, because we're talking about how, you know, you have to be careful on how you eat at the Lord's table, man. You know? And that bread, you know, that bread and that water, it's able to keep you afloat, man. Yeah, this word is able to keep you afloat. But in the eyes of the people, your carnal eyes, it's just a book. It has no benefit. Those are just sayings. Those are just proverbs. You know? It has no real benefit. To the elect, it's everything.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 26. "For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come."
So you show the Lord's death till he comes, man.